Hello, I'm George Glass, CTO at the TM Forum at Innovate Americas 24. Today in the Glass Box, I'm joined by...
Hi, my name is Pavan Kurapati. I'm the Vice President of Technical Solutions Architecture at Juniper.
Excellent, Pavan. Lovely to meet you. And Juniper has a very large customer base of operators globally.
Yeah.
What are they telling you about their automation journey?
Well, firstly, I saw your panel discussion yesterday with AT&T and others, and they all have different views on where they are in terms of TM Forum's maturity framework. I would say from our discussions, 80% of customers are in level 2 or partial autonomous networks phase because they've largely done automating routine tasks and events, static configurations of services. That's where they are, and a lot of operators have been using various open source frameworks and tools, doing it themselves, some of them. So it really depends on the area of the network they are in. I would say some of them, depending on the part of the network, they are in level 3 or even leaning towards 4, like in the campus and branch and those kind of networks, and some are around level 2 and 3. But I think the next 2 to 3 years will be very interesting, where things will move towards more intent-based service orchestration, and hopefully it will march towards a level 3 and 4.
Which automation use cases do you see the operators investing in the next 2 to 3 years?
Oh, great question. I think the customer self-service on operators' network is going to be the front and center for most of the operators. Like the customer's ability, the end customer's ability to define the services, express the intent in terms of constraints like geographical constraints or performance constraints, and their ability to steer their traffic on operators' network. That will be very critical for operators to provide that framework and APIs and the portal and other aspects. That will be really revenue generating for them, because that would reduce the service introduction of the new services from months to days to minutes, right? That will be really key. We see some examples of that happening already, like a large UK-based tier 1 operator launching their network as a service as one of the examples, right? The second, I hear a lot of topics here about AI, specifically about network performance and how it impacts the customers. Bad network performance means customer churn. So I would say the automation around how quickly we can detect the issues, mean time to detect, mean time to resolve. These are going to be really, really key to avoid these catastrophic outages. And lastly, we are also seeing a lot of effort being put in sustainability, especially in Europe, where there's a lot of ESG initiatives, even in the Americas, where power consumption is actually very, very important topic. So automation around how do you do traffic engineering and steering based on power consumption or carbon emissions, that's going to be a key investment as well.
Moving on to the next question.
Yeah.
How does Juniper help operators ensure network services deliver business intent that scale across various services and customer segments?
Right. I think I mentioned about intent-based service orchestration before. That's going to be really key and differentiate the operators in their ability to provide services or roll up services in minutes. As vendors, for us, intent means outcome. So the end customers would express their intent based on outcome, and we need to take that service intent, convert that into the service models, even look at what network elements are best to place those services, and then convert those services into the network models and network configuration, all driving towards standards-based models. So that to us is very important goal. And getting it right the first time when you express an intent to provisioning the network devices and do it right the first time is extremely important. And more importantly, how do you keep it right all the time? Once you provision, how are you monitoring those services using active assurance and our ability to monitor the SLAs and notify once those SLAs are not met, that's going to be key as well. So intent to service model to network definitions and ability to monitor those services in a stateful way is going to be really key, and that's what we are driving towards.
Let's talk a little about the latest AI innovations. How is Juniper leveraging AI machine learning and Gen AI to help operations improve efficiency?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of discussion on Gen AI these days, and it is important, but before we get into Gen AI, I want to divide this into multiple layers. So for any AI to work, I think having the right data at the right frequency and in the right format is very important. So we at Juniper, we really focus on providing and exposing the right data across all the components in our routers and other network elements that we use in the network. So the data is very important. And once you have the right data, using the right ML techniques, whether it is supervised learning or unsupervised learning, we have been using all of these techniques for many years, and we believe we lead the market in when it comes to ML for networking. Now, Gen AI, we do absolutely use Gen AI. In fact, we have had conversational interface using NLP for a while now, and we have now pivoted towards Gen AI. So we do use Gen AI for conversational interface across the board, whether it is for campus and branch or for data center, or even we are expanding those use cases for WAN.
Excellent. Pavan, thank you very much for that interesting insights today. Thank you.